Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Let's just jump into it. This Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua build-up, it is what it is, okay? People still trying to hype up that fight like Anthony Joshua fighting Prenga and Tyson Fury fighting Wach. Look, those aren't real fights, okay? Those are just fights for these guys to stay busy. And criticizing the matchup, I mean, that's easy to do, but at the same time, you kind of understand what they're doing. But don't come out here, man, trying to sell me a shit sandwich and convince me that it's going to taste so good. We know what a shit sandwich is. But we also understand AJ and Fury need to be in relatively low-risk fights because neither can afford to lose because they have such a big, lucrative payday. It's kind of looming down the road. But who else could these guys have fought to just knock the rust off, stay sharp, and not be threatened? Everyone in the heavyweight division can crack. And if you get someone like a Moses Atama, anyone, an opportunity to fight Fury and fight AJ, they may not go with the script. They may go off script and say, shit, I need to get this scalp on my resume. So I understand what they're doing. I just don't like how they're out here acting like these guys are fighting the biggest names in the division. But I do wonder, is Fury going to look dominant against Wach? Because Wach and Fury have sparred. And Wach has been wanting to fight Fury. Fury should win this fight without a problem. But what if Fury gets in here and he looks less than dominant against a guy like Wach? Does that help to build momentum towards the Anthony Joshua fight? Probably for the AJ fans, because they're going to say, wow, Tyson Fury is a shell of what he once was. And now him and AJ, they already have the contract in place. They're going to fight. And AJ is going to give them more confidence. AJ is going to probably knock him out. Now, as far as Anthony Joshua and this Kristian Prenga guy, look, same thing. Shit sandwich. Don't sit there trying to convince me that's going to taste like goddamn shepherd's pie. No, it's not shepherd's pie. It's a shit sandwich. We were expecting a more recognizable opponent. We understand it's a stay busy bout, but Lord have mercy, man. Where'd you find this guy? Anyway, I think AJ for sure is going to do the business, and that's going to continue building the momentum to the fight with Tyson Fury. But Eddie Hearn is always strategizing, pushing AJ as the biggest name in the heavyweight division, trying to convince us that AJ's fighting these killers. You saw what they did after he lost to Andy Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? We saw who they were putting him in there against. So we're far from slow. Just be straight up. But we also, we understand. A lot of us can empathize, some sympathize with what AJ's gone through. I don't even talk about that because I can separate this content creating bullshit with being a human being. Like that I don't talk about it. So at the same time, you want to see where he's at. But just be real about it. We just want to see where he's at, get him in there. He should be able to get to do the business, and then go from there, go towards Tyson Fury. But don't come out here acting like Prenga, this huge knockout artist. Stop. I don't care about his record. Look at who he fought. Stop. Okay? But that being said, AJ and Fury, they shouldn't have a problem getting through their opponents and meeting up in a couple months for the ultimate Battle of Britain showdown, which could take place in Saudi Arabia. And for those of you saying, no, it should be in England, I agree with you. It should be out there in England. But they're going to say they don't agree with shit being in England because in England, they're going to lose half of their money to taxes. United States, they lose a shitload of their money to taxes. And Saudi, they don't have to pay, they pay zero tax. Zero. So the 150 million, 200 million, whatever they're making a piece, that goes in their pocket. So is it about the fans? Yeah. But also, it's about the millions of dollars you just going to throw away. So I wouldn't be surprised to end up fighting in Saudi. I may even, if it was me, as much as the fans have helped build me into who I was, I don't know if I want to throw away a $50, $60 million in just to go towards taxes. Hell no. That being said, you got Jukembayev against Ergashev fighting in Uzbekistan. Some of y'all don't know who these fighters are, but these guys get busy. And this matchup, excites fans, man. Because, these guys have reputation as aggressive fighters. They're going to try to knock you out. And they can. So don't expect no tactical chess match when these guys get in there. Somebody go get the bing bings put on them. And a lot of observers anticipate that action-packed contest, which is what you want. So I'll tell y'all boxing fans out there, although you may not recognize this Jukembayev's name, y'all should know who Ergashev is because he fought Ergashev fought, what's his name? I think it's Subra Matias, and he has some other fights. But Ergashev gets busy. He gets busy. So just because you may not be familiar with the names, if you want to see somebody get knocked out, you don't want to miss this fight. Now, as far as Zufa got their boxing cards getting stacked now. I don't care what you say. Zufa is out here stacking boxing cards. They got this one coming up with Berlanga, Hitchins, Derevyanchenko. You got Otto Wallin. All of them on the same card. All of these guys are big name fighters, man. Yes, Derevyanchenko, Otto Wallin, you don't know if they're coming or going. Hitchins, Berlanga. Berlanga, he should be able to pull off a win, but just don't know if he's coming and going. Think he got too much money early, that Canelo money. Hitchins can fight. But again, you just don't know what you're going to get, okay? But I'm just telling you, man, when it comes to that fight card, that Zuffa fight card, I'm watching it more to see how Zuffa is going to present his product. That's what I want to see. How are they going to package and deliver their product? And whether it can establish a distinct identity into the sport, a distinct footprint, distinct identity in the sport of boxing. They're doing a pretty good job, but this fight card with Berlanga, Hitchins, Wallin, and Derevyanchenko, all of those names are big names, and they're going to get in there, and they're going to put on a top-notch performance and be looking to get knockouts. That's a damn good lineup, man. But we just got to wait and see. But I'm telling you, Zufa is up and away. And I think they're going to continue to sign more and more talent. And not just C, B-level fighters. They're going to be signing some A-level talent, some elite talent. You just sit back and watch. Now, we're talking about elite talent. Lamont Roach and William Zepeda. Yo, Lamont Roach, I don't know if it's time for him to get a win or if it's time for him to get a loss. He may get up with another draw. That man fought Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is not an easy opponent. Got battled to a draw. Many felt he deserved to win that fight. Fought Pitbull Cruz. I thought Pitbull Cruz could have won the fight, but it was so close it could have went either way. The draw, I think it was fair, but it kind of could have gone to Pitbull Cruz, But hey, at the end of the day, he got another draw. But fighting Zepeda, I don't care what y'all say. This right here is one of the most intriguing fights that can be made. Because Lamont Roach can fight, he can box, he can counterpunch, he has everything. But Zepeda is, no kidding, that Tijuana tornado. You know what he get in the ring, you hit a Mexican horn. Bim, 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 bim. Once they start shouting that shit, Viva Mexico Camarones, and his nickname is Camarón, like for shrimp, y'all better, Lamont Roach better understand what he up against now. We saw what Shakur Stevenson did with Zepeda. Shakur had to fight him. But Zepeda had a lot of moments in it, but Shakur was able to elevate and show that there's levels to this game. And Shakur fought a fight that many of us didn't know he could fight, which was right there in the pocket, making him miss and making him pay. I don't know if Lamont Roach is Shakur Stevenson. All right? I'm just being real. Lamont Roach can fight. He may have more power than Shakur, but he don't have the skills of Shakur Stevenson. So I'm really curious to see how Lamont Roach is going to handle that pressure. I want to see. And if he can and he lands, I want to see how Zepeda can handle the power from Roach. So I think it's a 50-50 fight. You know what I'm saying? You ask me if I'm leaning one way or the other. Nah, I'm not. Because I know Lamont Roach can fight, but I know Zepeda can fight. But I want to see if Lamont Roach gets overwhelmed. Because Zepeda ain't going to let you take a break. You got to give Zepeda something to worry about. Shakur was binging his ass. He was hitting Zepeda when Zepeda was like, how's this man hitting me? He was hitting him with some hard-ass counters. And that's what got helped Shakur to get control of the fight, slow the pace down, and for him to remain in control. But Zepeda was still coming. But can Lamont Roach do what Shakur Stevenson did? That remains to be seen. Anyway, Roach coming back down to 135. That adds another layer of intrigue because now you're wondering, he's been at 140. Now he's coming down. How's the weight cut going to affect his performance? You see what I'm saying? It's just my opinion. You're dealing with the pressure of Zepeda and the weight cut. So what happens on Fight Night? Got to wait and see. Now, Meritaya, he returns. Meritaya's going to be fighting Conceição. Meritaya beat Andy Cruz. Very close fight, but Meritaya did enough to win. But I'm just telling you, man, this Conceição, I ain't even mad at Meritaya. I'm mad at whoever made the goddamn fight. How Conceição get in the mix for a goddamn opportunity for the title? Conceição? O'Shaquie Foster beat him the first time they robbed him. They robbed O'Shaquie. Fought him the second time, outclassed him. Now Conceição ends up in it with Meritaya. Yo, this ain't even risky. This is what you call taking it to the stupid. Anyway, man, I think Meritaya handles him with no problem. And then Meritaya be on to the next. Will he rematch Andy Cruz? I doubt it. But, hey, Meritaya wants big names, big money. So I think this thing with Conceição is just to stay busy. But I'm still scratching my head on how the hell Conceição getting so many goddamn opportunities. Like, who does he know? Like, Lord have mercy, it's crazy. Now, that being said, Claressa Shields and K. Scott. Let me tell y'all something. Americans are rooting for K. Scott. Australians are rooting for K. Scott. Black women, Chinese women, white women, biracial women, women of every color, people from everyone's rooting for K. Scott to shut Claressa Shields up. They don't like her mouth. They don't like her attitude. They don't like her. And a lot of people are saying, yo, her champion, send the upset alert. I'm like, okay, I understand. They're looking at Claressa Shields and they're like, yo, she's just too active on social media. Too much drama. We don't care about what she's accomplished in women's boxing. We're looking at this and saying, K. Scott, you got an opportunity. Major opportunity to score the biggest win of your career, maybe the biggest upset in boxing history, bigger than Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. But Claressa Shields got the championship experience, we get it, but you got to just focus and pull off the upset. Claressa got personal drama. Her man, Papoose, man, please. She got shit going on in her personal life, and of course I would never talk about and joke about, what's going on with certain things. But I'll tell you, with the family members, it's ridiculous, man. She got to make a decision. I don't see how nobody can expect to win a fight when mentally you ain't focused because all your personal drama and all the bullshit going on and you on social media, and then physically you ain't there because you got to cut 40 plus pounds to get down to 160. You know what I'm saying? So you got a fat girl camp going on. All I'm saying is, and let's be real, Claressa should not lose to K. Scott. But as boxing fans and people who understand boxing, can a person win if they're not physically together and not mentally together? Okay? You got a person who's struggling physically with the weight cut. And then even if they make the weight, after 2 or 3 rounds, what if they get exhaustion sets in, fatigue sets in, dead leg sets in, cramping sets in, headache, whatever happens from dehydration or whatever, right? What happens on fight night if Claressa gets in that ring and all of a sudden it proves that weight cut was too hard and she doesn't have the energy. You understand? And then we get to round 3, 4, where all of a sudden the energy gets low and K. Scott is able to go up in the weight. And all of a sudden, K. Scott, the underdog, is landing on Claressa. The fight becomes competitive. Then what happens? I am telling you, people understand that Claressa, with all of her accomplishments and the way that woman can fight, she is supposed to come down to 160 and beat K. Scott. But people are also watching and saying, hold on a second, upset alert. Big vote could end up, man, big sad, with a very big upset, with K. Scott getting the victory. And you know what? I understand that argument. Because anyone who's ever, done any combat sports, when a person gets tired and the other one has that second win or still operating off their first win because they're in great shape, your ass is in trouble. That ring gets small real quick. So when it comes to Big Goat, I think she better figure some things out, because I'm just being honest with you, man. K. Scott has a realistic chance to pull off the upset. But she got to see what's going on, believe what's going on, and then receive the victory on fight night. But I'm gonna tell you again, it ain't gonna be easy. But as with any major fight, the outcome will ultimately be decided by what happens in the ring, rather than all these online predictions and speculations and all that. They got to get in there and punch each other in the face. And of course, K. Scott, she's a grandma, 42 years old. She walk around strutting like a stork, doing OnlyFans. She got the body. She got it. She got it. There's a lot of people who admire her physique and the discipline she has and the commitment to physical excellence, to mental health, to mental health as well, to just being physically in shape, being a fitness model, a fitness expert. They see K. Scott as someone who's there mentally and physically and spiritually. And they're saying if she can just come in that ring and on fight night, be mentally strong, physically strong, spiritually strong, and Claressa is not, they're saying K. Scott can really come out here and pull off the Aussie, oi upset. And put them Aussie beings all up in Claressa's mouth. All up in Claressa's mouth. So we got to wait and see, if K. Scott can get it done. But I'm telling you, Claressa tried to make this shit into a black versus white thing. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody wants to hear that. Stop it. This shit about racial divide, stop it. Stop it. Nobody wants to hear that shit. That's nasty, man. It's disgusting. Fucking push no racial shit. Nobody should. It's all about these hands right here. Get in there and win. I don't like to hear that shit from anybody. That's one thing with me. I have zero respect for people who push that racial bullshit. And I got my own stories I can share, but I ain't doing it on this video. I can share y'all some stories that will blow your minds. So I see how that shit tears down the very fabric of an organization. No, we ain't doing it. Don't bring that shit to this fight. Stop. Because Claressa tried to bring that into this fight and it backfired. Because all the women and a lot of the men, they looking and saying, what is she doing? Here it is again with them nasty ways. Being toxic. Don't know when to just shut up. All that talent, just throwing it. Every opportunity, just throwing that talent out the window. Just throwing that reputation out the window, throwing that brand out the window. Just ruining herself. Anyway, she better be focused because K. Scott has the opportunity of a lifetime and K. Scott ain't on social media. K. Scott is locked in. And she's ready to do the business when they get in the ring on August, I believe it's 15th. Anyway, a little bit of everything going on. Heavyweight debates, potential knockout fights, new promotional storylines, high-stake championship implications, and one of the year's most discussed women boxing matchups, K. Scott and Claressa Shields. Where I think if it's business as usual, Claressa wins. But if for some reason she can't get shit together personally and professionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, she will lose. And the thing is, even if she doesn't lose, but the fight's competitive, that's a loss. She's not supposed to be in a competitive fight with somebody like K. Scott when you're just looking at the shit on paper. You understand what I'm saying? It's not supposed to be competitive. So even if it's competitive, she loses. She might as well get knocked out because everybody's going to clown her. Because we know K. Scott is a decent fighter, but we know there's a serious talent gap there. You know what I'm saying? K. Scott all of a sudden closes the talent gap on the 2-time gold medalist, 19 world championships, 5 different weight divisions, multiple-time undisputed champion. And you let K. Scott come and close the talent gap? Oh, yeah, the internet's going to internet. That being said, man, all final answers will be provided the day of the fight. Y'all keep cool. Boxing roll up. Y'all, I'm in the breeze.